Channel Divinity, Dungeons and Deconstruction. This is a podcast about the sacred intersection of storytelling, spirituality, imagination, and play, and the surprising places where meaning shows up when we start asking better questions. Today's conversation is a supplementary episode to a gameplay series we're currently running called Religion Check. In that series, a group of players gathers around the table to play Dungeons & Dragons, exploring story, character morality, and imagination together in real time. In this episode, we're stepping away from the dice and the character sheets for a moment and inviting the players themselves to reflect on their experience at the table, what it feels like to participate in collaborative storytelling, what kinds of community forms in those spaces, and how imagination, spirituality, and play intersect in ways that might surprise us. My name is Mattie Mae and Braddock, and this is my friend and dungeon master, Braddock Eason. Say hi, Braddock.
Hello! It's me!
And today we have Luna, who plays Delphira, the hottest and most amazing and well-dressed astromancer wizard. We're so glad you're here. Before we go into initiative order, would you please tell us a little bit about the person behind the character sheet?
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for the intro. I'm thrilled that you love my character. My girl is
I'm so
a
obsessed.
mess. She's a mess, but she's a hot one. So
Yes, period.
My name is Luna. I am a writer. I'm a game designer. Overall a huge fan of story in any medium, any form. I'm looking like up past my camera right now. I've got just a wall that is full of books and comics and plants and little figurines and everything. I'm definitely a fandom girly.
Yes. That's
Great.
so great. Well, I have just loved getting to know you and your character. I want to start with, what is your D&D testimony? What is it about? You talk about like loving story and fandoms in general. What do you think is like unique about Dungeons and I always say Dungeons and Deconstruction because that's in my head. Dungeons and Dragons. What is it that you find that has drawn you to this sort of collaborative storytelling?
Well, I think I had to try D&D a couple of times before I really got into it. So the first time I played, I was in college, and it was with like a couple of friends from work, but they were new friends. So, you haven't quite like really gelled yet, right? It was like those new friends and their boyfriends. And I did not have a good time. I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm going to go do research. I'm going to be so prepared.
Yeah.
This is such a normal thing for me to do.
Yeah.
So like I came and I was ready to like give it my all. And it was not what I expected. And I thought like, oh, well, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I don't actually like D&D. It's weird because I have been writing for my entire life, and I thought that it would be fun to like essentially write with others, but maybe I didn't like that. And then fast forward like a while, let's not say how long.
I'm with you. Yeah. Who knows how long? Yeah.
Oldies. Fast forward a while, and I started watching Dimension 20 with my partner. And I was like, wait, hold on. This is what I wanted. This is what I thought it was supposed. Is it supposed to be like this? And he said, hey, my friends are running a group. You can join if you want. Like, you might like it this time. I'm like, well, I like this. So if it will be anything like that, let's give it a try. And then, of course, it was super duper fun. Brad was there.
That's right. We were the girlies.
DMing, Brad?
I was a player. Yeah, Luna and I, we were the
cool.
girlies in the group. I played a female character. It was great, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
female character with an accent too that like never dropped. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Which
we can do
accent?
accents.
It's
Wow.
like Eastern European. I was like, yeah. Eastern. So it was Intrim. This was my name. So she was the Vengeance Paladin.
When we played together, Brad did a French accent, but it was a part of the bit that my character never understood what he said. So every time he spoke, my character would be like, yeah, I have absolutely no idea what that person is.
It's a great bit.
It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So you had this group that I was a part of that kind of got you back into it. Anything else with your testimony that came from that?
Yeah, like I feel like it really compared to what I had thought we were playing before, like coming into a group that was like so open, so inviting. First of all, it was a bunch of boys, and I was like, oh boy, I hope this is going to be okay. Exactly, that's the face.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But they were so open, and we could like get silly with it. It felt freeing. And in a way that coming from the space of like video games as interactive storytelling, I didn't really have, because, you know, even if you've got like a sort of open world, there are still rails, right? And so being able to just tell a story and do whatever you want, like, what do you mean? I feel like every character since then of mine has just gotten weirder and weirder. And I love it so much.
That's awesome. What do you think is the difference between because I feel like it's a pretty universal D&D experience that like the table really matters for like how you enjoy the game. What do you think you would want out of a D&D table? Like what made the second time different than the first?
My ideal table is, even if I don't know the people before I get there, it's people who are open. They are ready to bare their creative souls, right? Like, we are only doing this once. We're not to be like at yellow, but not no. Right? Like, we're only doing this once, so let's like leave it all on the stage, as it were. I love playing with theater kids. Like,
yes,
like become your character to the fullest. Like, I love playlists. I love when people are like, I'm gonna try an accent. I've got a group at work that I play with, and a lot of like first time players had joined, and now they're like, they feel like it's a safe space almost to just experiment and get rowdy and silly and have a good time and maybe cry a little bit. I do remember sobbing in an episode of Dimension 20, just like, because I started with Crown of Candy.
Oh, such a light one. Such a light one to start on, yeah.
Okay, but they built it.
And I think Philip was telling me or watching it too. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good one to start on.
But like, you can't tell me like, oh yeah, it's Candyland meets Game of Thrones. And I'm like, okay, well, probably like, it'll be in the far north, or there maybe might be like some big dogs. I don't know a lot about Game of Thrones, but I know a lot about Candyland, so I'm sure it will be fine. Oh, my heart.
I feel like your analogy to like a stage too, like it's about that vulnerability, becoming creative, but I feel like elements of a stage as well is like your ego is pushed down and you're lifting up other people as well. Like, have you seen that like in your other groups? Is that a value that you would like as well? Like, can you speak to that?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I think there is a time for each character to have their big moment. Like, you guys know Delphira is not a small character. But I also think that in my ideal games, it's not a story about one person being the main character and everyone else is a side character. It's finding little ways to, as you're talking about, ooh, my character is so cool and awesome, let me show you all the stuff that I came up with. While you're doing all of that, also, how can I bring in the people around me? What can I learn about the other people that are sitting at the table, and like what ties can I form? What bonds can I form? Not just character to character, but person to person, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like there are a lot of friendships born around the table that, you know, maybe weren't there before. And there's a closeness that comes from playing and creating together, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that says a lot about you as a person. So I wonder, like, how much you see, I don't know, like, where do you see, like, your own, like, virtues and passions and things that you prioritize in your life as really important, and just not just, like, playing a game, but also as a person, like, how can I be a good listener? How can I be a good game player? So, like, what are things that you feel like you bring, like Luna brings to the table in the way that she plays?
I love that one of the first things you said was listener, because despite all of the dramatics of my character, I am highly introverted. Like, I am the kind of person that will just stay in my house. If I am in like a big group conversation, my tendency is, you know, kind of to just like, let me let everybody else talk and like listen. But at the same time, doing that allows me to like pay attention to other people who maybe do want to talk and are getting cut off, or like they didn't finish their thought, and I can go back to them. I want to be the person who can go back and say, hey, what were you saying? Or like, you were about to say something, like, go ahead. Being around those types of people like always made me feel very like warm, cozy, and like welcomed. And so for me, that's these are like little role model traits, right? That I'm like, I want to pull that in.
Yeah, I always appreciate that as a DM as well, because I feel like I am trying to like pay attention to, as well as all the things you're juggling as a DM, trying to make sure everybody does get a moment or speak or share their feelings if they're not speakers. And so that's really helpful for like a DM's brain capacity to know like, oh, okay, Luna's going to make sure that somebody else is heard. Mattie Mae is going to make sure that somebody else is heard. So yeah, as a DM, I think it's an amazing trait as well.
To bring in like a great theater analogy, like last time, like there are no small parts. Like even when your character isn't in the limelight, like there are ways that your presence is supporting the grander narrative. Like I think that there is something, especially like with the theater like language, like we're all serving the greater story in some fashion. So it's not like no, I think that Dolly is the main character, or that Fenora is the main character, you know, like, no, like there's just like a, how can we all serve and contribute to this narrative in a meaningful way?
Yeah. So I'm curious as far as Delphira goes, because I feel like Delphira puts off big bard energy in a wizard body. And so so I'm interested, like, one, like how do you create a character, period, and what parts of yourself do you always try to be intentional about putting in a character?
Ha ha ha. I love that she has big bard energy. Let me hold off on saying anything further about that sentence. I'm sure that will come out later as we play. But when I make a character, let's see, when someone's like, hey, do you want to play? I will make a lot of characters. Like, I will probably gather at least 6 ideas. Not because like I want to have options, that's part of it. But because I'm like, okay, I'm playing in this game, what are all of the things that I can explore, right? What aspects of each class, each little subsect, where in the world can I be from? I build my characters on vibes alone for most of the time, and then I have to figure out how to make that fit within uh, the actual rules of the game. And I should probably stop doing that, but it's too late for me. I will never stop.
Yeah, I forgot how many characters you came. You're like, Brad, I have this one, this one, and this one. I don't know what to do.
I came to you with my narrowed down list.
Yeah.
And in case you didn't like any of them, I had 3 more waiting in the wings.
Your backups. Yeah.
There was
Those will be great depending on how the next episode goes.
Hey.
No.
We're gonna be fine. The characters that I have, like I always want to try and put something of me into them, even if I don't know what it is at the time. Like with Delphira, as a book nerd, I'm like, yeah. Wizard seems so natural. Of course she would learn magic by like reading, studying. Let me write that down. But as an introvert, we talked about me being like kind of introverted, right? When you have to, unfortunately, we do live in a world that is full of others. You do have to talk to other people at some points in your life. So like, what happens when you as an introvert are forced to leave your comfortable, safe hidey hole and like go out into the world? You don't know when you're going to be able to go back. You don't know like anybody out there aside from people that you might have met through your parents for a couple of days at a time when you were a kid, right? Like it's how would a character react to that is kind of fun to explore. Her big bard energy comes because her parents are merchants and they have to know how to do the song and dance of commerce. They are absolutely like, yes, come buy our wares. Like, look at this gorgeous fabric. And they spent a lot of time when she was young, encouraging those things in her, even though they didn't, they weren't always around. But, I think there is something to that, right? Like a lot of people grow up in places and spaces where they're encouraged to be something that maybe does feel unnatural to them. It's not their comfort zone. And sometimes it's nice to be pushed outside your comfort zone, right? Like I'm not saying if you've got a highly introverted person, just lock them inside the house and leave them alone forever. Like, no, like help them. Because ultimately as human beings, we're social creatures. We do thrive when we have those like close, heartfelt connections and those moments to bring color to our lives, right? If you spend your entire life solely nourished by the stories of others and you don't have your own stories, you essentially just become a watcher, right? Like you aren't living your own. I feel like I'm off track.
No, I'm eating it up.
We're good. Yeah, keep on going. Keep on going. We're on the rails here. We're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're following.
Like I think it's very easy, especially in an age of tech. You can feel like you are connected without actually being connected, right? Like not to go like too deep into that rabbit hole, but like reading somebody's post and liking it is not the same as a conversation with your friend. And like after a certain point, it becomes more about like, what are we presenting to the world versus what are we actually feeling? which isn't isn't always great to have those two fully diverge from one another, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel
Yeah.
like what you said earlier with like the digital age we're living in, do you think that there's anything about D&D that is like directly competing with that, like that is sort of rebelling against the fast-paced, disconnected digital age?
Absolutely, because when you play D&D, you have to pay attention. You have to, it
Yeah.
forces you to single task, and living in a world that is super fast videos. It's scrolling as much as you can. It's meant to keep your attention via like little tiny baby doses of serotonin, versus D&D making you like put everything aside and like just be present. I think finding ways like that to have these moments of conscious present, like presence, is
Yeah.
is really healthy, like spiritually, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
But also like, oh my God, think of the things that you get to experience when you do it, right? Like, oh, just putting everything aside, like lets you shed not only like societal pressures and whatever, but also like, ugh, I had a horrible day at work. This week has been rough. My fridge is empty and my water is room temperature. Ugh, life is terrible. But I'm sitting down to play, and all I have to do is enjoy myself and this time with friends. And I love that. I love that. It's like when you read a really good book and it spirits you away into this other world, and like you can just sit and steep in wonder and amazement and enjoyment, but you're doing it with other people. Fantastic.
Yeah. I think that goes back to something you said earlier about like the openness of a table, and I think that one of the first things that I tell people about D&D is how intimate and vulnerable it is. So like online, you can put a certain image of yourself and you can control that. That can't happen at a D&D table if you're playing it right. If you're playing it in a way that's open and vulnerable, the intimacy can be really scary. Like it can be really hard, and that's something that, especially as adults, the virtue of embarrassment and putting yourself out there, and like trying an accent that doesn't completely land the first couple of times that you're doing it, those sorts of things that I think that are imperfect and not worked out. And obviously, like, there are parts of our character that will just all of a sudden trigger a piece of past trauma that you had no idea that your brain was like working out for you, and suddenly that's laid out to bear in front of these 6 or 7 other people that you're playing with. Like, it can be really scary. And I'm just wondering if you've had an experience like that where you're like, especially as an introvert, like if you like coming to a table and being like, oh, I didn't expect to face this today, but here it is.
Oh, totally. Like, I I played, so this is like a while back. I was playing a rogue, and she was like very young, and her whole vibe was like, tee hee hee, I am I'm I'm so naive. I don't know anything about the world. What is this? A romance book? I love love. I'll read this. And there was I was fully prepared to come to the table with that energy. And it almost immediately got derailed by like I think it was like session 0.5, where we were in this space, and I think her mom was it her mom? Was it her grandma? Anyway, her family held seances every single night to talk with her grandma, and it was so like super cute. And then like chaos ensued, and like
Man, who's the DM for that? What a horrible
yeah, some
person.
monster, somebody terrible was really putting me through it.
Hey, it is cool as hell though to have these little. Anyways, continue. It's a cool backstory. Continue. Tell the people.
It was let them know. It was very cool. Like it was amazing, but just like coming to terms with like I was not prepared to deal with trying not to cry, sorry.
That's okay.
Let the tears flow. We're here.
No.
We cried. Yeah. We cried last.
Yeah, we cried. It's a tradition now at this point.
Yeah. Ugh, I'm a crybaby, so like I cry at everything.
So am I.
As your parents get older, you don't really, you think your parents are going to be around forever, right? Yeah. You're like, I don't have to worry about this. Like, this is my mom. She's always been here for my whole life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Somebody thought it would be a great idea to kill my whole family in a session 0.5. And I had to watch. And then made it extra sad because I had all this, like, it was like this great comforting moment that felt very like, oh, this is like how I grew up. I mean, obviously not with the seances every night, but like.
Right. Yeah.
Very cozy, very warm home, very encouraging family, and like welcoming to anybody. And so like I was just not prepared to think about losing a parent.
Yeah.
I'm not over it, by the way, and I will never be over it. And how dare you?
Hey, if I hadn't done that, you'd still be your character would still be at home, like.
And that's bad.
If you're wanting to be part of the adventure, yeah, which is what we were building towards. So that's kind of like, what's the call to adventure?
Yes.
I got to defend myself to the masses
cool.
now.
Yeah. I do think that's really cool though, to show like how that grief was and still is very real to you. Like that's a real experience that you actually had and you actually still carry with you.
Mm-hmm. And like, I guess it turned out fine. I mean, it was also a little bit cathartic because like when we got into the adventure, like, okay, I can maybe try to do a seance of my own and like contact my mom. Like, what are these little things that I still have of my family that I can hold on to and hold dear? And remember that I'm not alone in this. I'm not out in the big scary world by myself. And like I feel like as a character being able to have an adventure after that it was helpful for me because I was like, oh, okay, so you don't actually die when other people that you love die. Okay, great. It just feels like you're going to die. My mom is still alive and actually totally fine. She can pack a house faster than me. Like, she's a force of nature. She tried to tell me the other day, like, oh, well, I'm doing this for my will. And I'm like, nope, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about that.
Yeah. And the lesson, too, I feel like became almost like, how do you carry those people with you after that? Which is like...
Exactly. Yeah.
And how do you find... I mean, like, obviously I wasn't part of this campaign, but I could imagine how, like, it could be like, how can I find family elsewhere? Like, where else can I find these very meaningful connections in ways that aren't just, like, biological, but, like, very intentional?
Yes, because the other characters, like, I feel like it was almost immediate. Like as soon as I met them, they were like, "Oh no, you need somebody. Like you are so unaware of anything around you," because she was just like a lemming just walking into danger. Like pick the biggest, scariest guy in the bar and walk up. "Have you read this? It's Tusk Love."
Yeah. Like, she sounds a lot like Dolly.
Yes. That's why I'm so concerned for your character. I'm like, oh no, Dolly.
I'm concerned for her too. I'm concerned for, I don't know what kind of trauma she's going to bring up, but we'll talk about that another episode.
Goodness. Oh gosh. It's going to be rough. I feel like everybody's got something going on.
So we're going to get ready to wrap up here. But I just wanted to end with asking you about if somebody wanted to play for the first time, but was feeling like nervous about it and trying to find the right table for them, what encouragement and advice would you give somebody who might want to try something like this out?
I think I would say ask your friends, because some of them probably also want to play. First of all.
That's a great advice.
They may be in the same situation as you, where they really want to play and they just don't know how to get started. And maybe you can all play for the first time together, and wouldn't that be an incredibly like magical, wonderful, slightly chaotic experience, right? You can all learn at the same time, and that would be great. And maybe it continues on. Like, people have campaigns that last for years and years and years, and I think that is wonderful and amazing that they are willing to set aside the time, like carve out time, make the conscious decision every week, every month, every quarter sometimes, to sit down with their friends, have some snacks, have some drinks, and tell a story. I think the other thing to keep in mind as you're looking for a group, maybe you don't have any friends, right? Maybe you are alone, or maybe you're in a situation where you can't ask the friends that you do have, which is very sad. But maybe that's just not their vibe, right? Go online. We have a lot of resources now. The whole world is at our fingertips. You can absolutely find somebody to play with you. People want to play. People want to have a good time. And I think that is such an important thing to keep in mind, right? Like, don't go into it expecting it to be Dimension 20 or Critical Role. Because you don't.
Or religion check, am I right, y'all?
Right? Or religion check.
I mean, sometimes it is, right? Sometimes you look out and Brad's your DM and everything is perfect and amazing. But, sometimes there is a learning curve, especially if you've never done it before. So just go in, think of all the things that you love about the stories and video games and movies that you have taken in over your whole life, right? What are your favorite characters? What are your favorite energies that you like to play with? What makes you feel a little thrill when you do it that you maybe don't get to do every day in your life? Can you turn that into a whole person? Or can you make that a bigger aspect of this person that you're creating? Don't play a human. You're already a human. Be something else.
Period. I'm so annoyed when people show up as humans.
Right?
I'm like, what?
Come on.
Get some whimsy in your life.
Yes.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
So specifically for people who, I think that there might be a lot, because that's the sort of people we attract, obviously, because we're awesome. Of people who love like fandoms and love to read and love to play video games and love to play tabletop games and things like that. What do you think they get through playing D&D that's different than watching a TV show or, you know, reading a book or playing a video game? Like, what's unique about the experience of playing D&D?
Love that question. Excellent. Amazing. Um, I think it is different because you can do literally anything. With a book, the story is laid out for you, even if it's choose your own adventure. Like, there are only so many ways that you can go, right? With a movie, the movie is the movie, right? The novel is the novel. The game is the game. Even if you've got branching choices, you can still at some point play through every single choice and still want to play, yet have no more runway.
Yeah.
When you sit down to play D&D, you can do anything. If you want to catch a beholder in a jar, you can do that. If you want to, you know, chase down like an NPC because they sound really interesting to you, or if you want to like bring them along and that maybe wasn't in the DM's plans, but you just love this character and you find a way to make it work, you can bring them. Like, there are no limits. It's incredibly freeing in a way that the other forms of media are not. Not saying that the other forms of media are bad. Obviously, I love them. We all love them, right?
Yes.
But it is, I think, D&D and tabletop gaming are unique in the way that you can really explore anything that you might want to explore. And if you aren't sure where you want to go, you don't have to just like guess. I know there are solo tabletop games, which are incredible. You will have like an oracle deck to draw from or like a table to roll on to see what happens next. But when you're playing around a table with other people, your community at that table
more variables
is going to help bring in things that you might not realize. And it's awesome. It is awesome to build that web of connections with people. Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I did have a follow-up question too with that too, because I just was curious if you could say Delphira was inspired or reminiscent of any like fandom or character. Who would you point Delphira to? I'm just curious.
Sailor Mars.
Okay, got it.
Or maybe wait, who is that?
Oh,
from the Sailor Moon
from
series,
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Mars.
Okay.
So they're all planets. Actually, I don't know if she would be more Mars or more Venus. Because Venus is very showy and she's got like her own video games. She's like a character within the world. She is absolutely like part of the Sailor Moon universe.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Cool.
Cool.
Amazing. Well, cool. Well, this has been such a great conversation about imagination, storytelling, and I really feel like vulnerability as well was such a theme in this conversation as well, and as well as like the sacred possibilities of play. So maybe the sacred isn't just found in sanctuaries. Maybe it's also found in the roll of the dice. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Channel Divinity, Luna. If this conversation resonated with you, be sure to just subscribe, share it with a friend, and check out Religion Check on YouTube to get more of Luna here, as well as Mattie Mae and myself. Until next time, Prodigal Pilgrims, stay curious, play boldly, go slay a freaking dragon. Go right now. Go slay a dragon.